L.A. Winters is a producer, an actor, and a screenwriter. But more than that, she is a dreamer. And she is seeing, thanks to God, her dreams come true. You'll hear all the beautiful details right here on Babbie's House, coming your way right now.
Babbie's house, Babbie's house. Every day is filled with possibility. At Babbie's house, Babbie's house. Everybody is family. Welcome to Babbie's house.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Babbie's House, where everybody is a member of the family, and that certainly includes you. I'm Babbie Mason, the host of the show, and thanks so very much for joining me today. I'm very happy to have L.A. Winters on the show today, and you know, I've known her for a lot of years, and I've heard her dream and heard her talk about and seen her on stage when she was acting, and God has planted a seed of a dream in her, and you know, if God is involved in your plan, it's going to become a reality. And she is seeing that happen today. And she's going to talk about all the beautiful details of what God is doing in her life right now. And she's acting and writing screenplays and movies and all kinds of wonderful things. And we want to hear all the beautiful details on Babbie's House, right? So stick around for our wonderful conversation. Right now, I want to sing one of my favorite songs of late. It's a brand new song in the last couple years or so. But it's a song that welcomes the presence of God into the house. It's called The Lord is Here.
In these holy moments, God is moving by His grace. I can see the glory of His presence on each face. In the beauty of holiness, no other name compares to our God, to our God. The Lord is here, the Lord is here. He is awesome in this place. The Lord is here. He's moving among us and descending upon us. We render praise and bless His name. The Lord is here. Sing it with me. He is here. The Lord is here. He is awesome in this place. The Lord is here. He's moving among us and descending upon us. We render praise and bless His name. The Lord is here. While the Lord is waiting, just surrender everything. No need for delaying. You can trust Him with your need. Will you give Him your all today? Open your heart and say, oh, you are God and you are here, Jesus. You are here. You are awesome in this place. You are here. You're moving among us and descending upon us. We render praise and bless your name, for you are here. Here in your presence, right from the start. Here in your throne room, right here in my render praise and bless your name, for you are here.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
I do not like my sheets. I love my Giza Dream sheets.
Call or go to MyPillow.com right now to take advantage of Mike's limited time offer. Use the promo code on the screen, and when you buy one set of Giza Dream Sheets, Mike will send you another set absolutely free. That's right, buy one set of Giza Dream Sheets and get another set absolutely free. Choose from a variety of colors in solid, stripes, and new flannel sheets. Order now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
I'm glad you came back to the show because, you know, today's show is about dreams. And I think of Joseph. He is the quintessential dreamer in the Bible. And God loves dreamers because dreamers are creative people. And God is the ultimate creator. And everything he breathed came to life. And today's guest is a dreamer. L.A. Winters is a woman who has been dreaming for a long time, and she is seeing fruit for her labor. She is seeing realization to her dreams, and we're going to talk about that today here on Babbie's House. Will you help me to welcome to Babbie's House, L.A. Winters? My friend, it's good to see you again.
So good to see you.
So happy to have you on the show.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And you know, we go back.
We do.
And we go back a few years.
Yes.
And I remember being at Mount Perrin North, and I wrote a musical with my good friend Turner Lawton, and you were in that musical, and it was just so much fun. So being on stage and being a creative person, being under the light, seeing things come to life, that's your world.
It is.
That's not a strange thing to you. How did you get started there?
Well, actually, I started as a dancer. My mom was in community theater, and she took us girls to an audition. And we got in somehow and took carousel, saw the dancers, fell in love with dancing, started seriously taking dance lessons, ended up doing some choreographed dancing professionally at Great America, doing some choreographed modeling shows, which led us into modeling in Chicago in the 80s. And then eventually my twin sister and I landed the Doublemint commercials.
That is so cool. I remember that commercial.
Yeah, it was quite a blessing. I had already moved down here. We were apart. And so we'd cut our hair alike and prayed that we would be able to work together at some point. And lo and behold, they were doing a nationwide search, and she went on the initial audition without me. All the other twins in the room were like, what is she doing here? And because I couldn't afford to fly up for that. They narrowed it down to 9 sets of twins, flew me up for it. We auditioned, and 3 months later got the call, and it ended up being a whole campaign. We did 6 commercials over a 3-year period, and they played the commercials for 10 years. So it was quite a blessing.
Wow.
And that's modeling and doing commercials. I had an audition for Flashdance in Chicago because of being a dancer. It was the first time I did some audition copy where I was reading for a part. And when I looked up from reading the part with the casting director, she had tears in her eyes. And I was like, I have to do this, because I realized I had moved her. So I started studying acting. So it was this God projection that I'm a dreamer, but I kind of leave the dreams to God. And then he always surprises me with what happens. And I've also found that at times I've had to let go of those dreams. And so I went into acting seriously and began to work in Atlanta when my husband and I moved down here and got married.
You know, LA, you said that in your audition, you looked up and the casting director, or whoever it was that was auditioning, was obviously moved.
Yes.
And you saw tears.
Yes.
And that lets you know that there's a window there.
Yes.
There's an opportunity there that when something that you do is not just a hobby, but it actually touches somebody.
Yes.
And it impacts them, and they forget that they're doing their job or whatever, and they're in the moment.
Yeah.
And it moves them. You
Yes.
know that there's something special about that.
That's right.
And so, talk to me about that, about the passion, about how you know that
Yeah.
that you found that sweet spot.
Well, being a fellow artist and the way you describe it is so articulate. There's something about the arts, about storytelling, about touching people in a way that opens their hearts and their minds together that the arts does. And when I came to the Lord later in my 20s, I actually gave up my modeling career and I gave up everything. I said, what do you want me to do, Lord? And I started working a lot. And I realized it was about the relationships I was making as much as it was about the work, like behind the scenes, on the set, and all of that. But at the same time, I read a book by Bob Briner called The Roaring Lamb. And it talks about how we as believers had abdicated the culture-shaping roles in society. We started singing to ourselves and acting to ourselves and educating to ourselves and forming a micro bubble that we lived in comfortably. But that the arts were given to really touch people in a way, to open the mind and spirit, take them, transport them, like you were talking about, to a place where they could envision something different, or they could have healing in an area where they needed to have that emotion or whatever. And that's what I was feeling. I couldn't identify it like that because it was a path that God was taking me on. And I began to become very passionate about the fact that acting and storytelling helps, is how we communicate.
Yes.
It's how we learn.
That's
it's
right.
how we're wired.
And it is what happens on stage or on television oftentimes is a reflection of real life.
Yes.
And that is something that
Yes.
you are passionate about.
Yes.
Not just making the story come out always with a nice, pretty bow on top.
Exactly.
Talk to me about your vision, for film and for
Thank you.
the reality of film and how that should express real
Okay.
life.
Well, even when I was tasked with and enjoyed, I was in the church for 20 years. I came out of acting, and I call it my nesting years, where I started having babies and left that and started raising my children, and all of my creative passions went into the arts at my church. And so I became a writer and a director, and I was acting, doing all of that there, and really cultivating these gifts that are now serving me in chapter 3, kind of out there. But when I was writing, I always wrote from the perspective that God created us with the same echoes in the heart. If I was writing a biblical character, they were just as human as you or I. They weren't above certain things or below certain things. They had the same wants and desires and needs as every human has. And so when I would write passion plays, I would write them very human and take kind of that kind of highbrow, religious type of talk and just humanize it. When Peter doubted, or the thieves on the cross, what were they really like? What was that day like? And humanize it. And so now writing and starting to produce out here in the film industry, my stories are raw, real, and redemptive. Because like you said, I think a lot of times when we look at the stories and we tell the truth, life is messy on this side of eternity. A lot of things are gray and not black and white. And that is, I think, what we're called to is the process, not the result.
Yes.
And the process is messy.
Yes. And so here you are, down the path, as you say, chapter 3. an empty nest, somewhat.
Yes.
Kids coming and going,
Yep.
but still you have the freedom now
Yes.
to launch into
Yes.
this dream or whatever that you've been building over the years.
Yeah.
So bring us up to date. What are you
Thank
doing
you.
now?
Well, I started back into acting about 5 or 6 years ago. I did a faith-based series of movies, Mandy series, and took all of that training I had in New York that I left, and finally got to act on that level again. And then the industry here, as you know, is growing, and so I realized that it's here in my backyard again. And so I thought, well, maybe I am supposed to go back into acting full time. I did, and so I've been working. I've been doing some films. I have a film coming out, Modern Prodigal, a faith-based film. I was just in the Soderbergh film, Logan Lucky, very small part, but a really nice film to be in. So I'm acting again, thank you. And as a result of a group of actors I started working with in my home, there were 6 of us working actors, and we would meet once a month and we would shoot scenes so that I could get better at my craft. And we were telling stories through the lens. And we decided maybe we should write something. And so I ended up writing something. And I ended up writing a full-length feature film, which I never thought I would, called Beautiful Goodbye. And it's about, he makes all things beautiful in his time, Ecclesiastes 3:11. And that's really the through line of the story, but it's about a woman dying of brain cancer. And she's she's made peace with God, and she's leveraging her death to bring her torn apart, blended family together. There's a lot of mess in that family. And so they come together for a goodbye gathering over the weekend. So that's how it's manifesting. You could have never told me that I would be producing and writing screenplays even 5 years ago. So God has set a dream to work in the storytelling, but I've had to hold loosely to it, and he's the one who is taking me on this path, and I'm just as surprised as anybody else.
Yes, yes. You know, this is what
happening.
I love. This is what I love, is that his timing is perfect.
Yes.
And years ago, I mean, when I met you years ago, 15 years, at least. I was going to say maybe even 20.
20, I think it was 20.
Yes. You know, on stage, in a production,
Yes.
at church.
Yes.
You were in another season in your life.
Yes.
But while you are in the doing, you know, in the moment, God is in the big picture.
That's right.
And he is behind the scenes, or in front of the scenes, or creating the scenes, or
Yes.
he's orchestrating it all. But his timing is perfect. And now here we are down the road, and Georgia is like the place.
It is.
And I look up on television, and all the Georgia production, whatever the name of the production company is, it's happening right in your back door.
It is.
And so when we come back after this break, we want to talk a little bit more about the specifics of what you're doing.
Thank you.
But also the encouragement for those who dream of doing this,
Yes.
who want to do this,
Yes.
and encourage them that in God's time.
That's right.
And, you know, while he was making it ready, you were getting ready.
That's right.
And you weren't just sitting around, you know, flipping quarters waiting for stuff to happen. You were working, you were diligent, you were studying,
Yes.
you were writing,
Yes.
you were doing your thing.
That's right.
We're going to talk about that when we come back.
Fabulous.
So after this break, I'll talk more with L.A. Winters and about how you, when you walk with God, can make your dreams come true. Stick around. We'll be right back with more of Babbie's House after this break. Stay with me.
Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. I tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. 15 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota.
I really like the fact that it was made in the USA. I think that USA products are a better quality product. I've tried a lot of other pillows and nothing's worked like MyPillow.
I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. For a limited time, you get premium MyPillows, regularly $69.98, now just $29.98, and that's the lowest price in history.
I used to think that sheets were just sheets. I got the Giza Dream sheets. They are the most comfortable sheets I've ever had.
The Go Anywhere pillow is so easy to just roll up and take anywhere I want to go.
The My Pillow topper, for the first time, has enabled me to have a cool night's sleep. I'm able to go to bed and just get rest.
That's 3 inches of wonderful that's in the My Pillow mattress topper. It's just like a firm cloud.
When I got My Pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
My Pillow helps me get a good night's sleep so I can do my job in the morning.
Go to MyPillow.com right now to get deep discounts on all My Pillow products. For example, you can get my premium My Pillows, regularly $69.98, now just $29.98, the lowest price ever.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Welcome back to the show. I've been talking today with L.A. Winters, who is an actor. She is a producer. She is a screenwriter. She's done it all and is doing it all and has dreamed for many years of doing it all. And now it's a reality. Mm-hmm. And L.A. Winters, I'm happy to have you on the show. And you know what your story is, it's like, it gives us hope. And it gives us this anticipation that, well, then maybe what I'm dreaming of could really come true. It could really be for real. But there's a reality behind that, that it doesn't just happen because you will it to or you want it to. Right. All these years you've been writing, you've been acting, you've been directing, you started at church, you honed your craft, and it has brought you to this place. But I want you to talk a little bit about the process, because you have a film, but there's still a whole lot to do. So talk to me about what is left to do with getting where you want to go.
Okay. Well, let me say a little qualifier. Getting a film made in this industry in this time is still like winning the lottery. So the main thing I would say is I hold loosely to the outcome because God is in the process. I know good things are happening, and I hope that I get these films made, and I feel like I'm on a path to do that. But I'm just trying to lean into the process and accept the outcome. But I am moving forward. I am doing things. So
could you say that the process is just as fun as the outcome? Or?
Oh, yes. I love the process. It's hard, it's messy, but I love the process, or I wouldn't keep doing it.
But we do want to see.
Yes.
We want to see that film on the big screen.
And it feels, sometimes it feels pie in the sky, but that's not going to stop me, because I trusting that God has a purpose in the outcome as much as the process. So that's where I'm hopeful, but I'm also realistic. So where the realism kicks in is for the last 3.5 years, when I started writing a screenplay, I knew that I wanted to also work behind the camera in producing. I started going to Women in Film and networking. I started going to workshops about the tax credits, about film festival, about producing your own film, about fundraising. I started learning. I started getting into the community of people who are filmmakers and learning from them, volunteering behind the camera, doing everything I could to know what to do and how to do it. Because everyone's path is individual, but you have to have some understanding, not just as an actress in front of the camera, which learning the behind the camera has served me very well there as well. So it kind of dovetails. But when you're telling a story and you want to preserve how it's told on film, my goal is to maintain as much creative control as I can. And that's hard because you need money and you need other people's money. So you give away some of that control. So it's so important.
Yeah, the light just came on.
I know, exactly. You know what I'm talking about. So if you're not with like-minded people who also are coming onto that vision with the same heart, that's where it can get difficult. And some of that's going to happen. We're human. It's a business. It's messy. But God is helping me navigate that in new and creative ways. So one of the first things that I've done with God's direction after writing a screenplay saying I want to produce this is I wrote a short film in partnership with a friend of mine, Robert Prago, who's also an actor and producer. And we have produced this short film called Parked, and it will go into festivals, but it'll also be a calling card for potential investors to say, this is what This is how I tell a story, and this is what I can do. And will you invest with me in this? And so I have a website, 1000wordpictures.com, and it's spelled out just like on this nice little hat. But that is something I'm also using so that I can help raise funds. Is if you purchase the hat, it goes into development, but also 10% will go to Serve International, because I want to give back.
Yes.
And I want to make a difference in not just the film community, but in the world.
Well, L.A. Winters, we wish you nothing but God's choicest blessings in your endeavors. And we want it just as bad for you as you want it.
That is so sweet.
Because we want virtue, we want reality, but we want
hope.
Yes.
Hope.
And I think that's what people like you and you can do to usher in God's voice, to usher in hope, to usher in virtue, to usher in love and family and whatever it is you're going to bring to the table. We congratulate you.
Thank you.
We're pulling for you, and we're pushing you, telling you to go out there and do it. Go do it, girl.
Love that.
We're
Thank
behind you,
you.
okay? Thank you for being on the show today.
It's my blessing.
Appreciate you being here. And you, my very special guest, it's all about you. We appreciate you being here as well. We hope today that you've been encouraged, that if you have a seed of a dream that's in your heart, don't stop. Don't stop dreaming. Partner with God. Do your due diligence, as L.A. Winters has said. Show up. Go to the songwriting conference. Go to the actors. Join the guild. Get in the play. Do whatever it is that you have to do to hone your skill. It's not just going to happen sitting at the end of the bed watching television. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out there and go and do it. We're pulling for you as well. God bless you. I love you. And thank you so very much for watching Babbie's House. Until we see you again, may the Lord God bless you real good. Bye-bye for now.